Hi everybody, welcome to Art Less Ordinary. I'm Ben. So I am going to do a pearl pour, dirty pour combination again. I did one like this similar before, but this time I want to use obsidian instead of silver because I really want black and red, but I kind of want the black pearls to come up. So I have used marte paints. Which one have I used? This one. So I've used marte Brilliant Red, which is this one, which is 60 grams paint and 120 grams Australian floetrol. Then I also made up a small amount of black and white, which are both marte paints as well. 15 grams paint to 30 grams floetrol. So that's the three colours. And then I have used this one, which is decoart Americana Decor Metallics in obsidian. So it's like a black pearl colour. So that is the colours I will be using. Always just give your pearl colour a little stir before you use it because it settles a little bit once you've made it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit of red at the bottom. Then I'm going to pour a little bit of pearl colour in. Try and do it from a little bit of a height so it kind of sinks in. Then we go more red. Then we're going to go a bit of black. And again, pour it from a height so it sinks down into the paint. More red. And then we're going to go a bit of white. The white is just mostly to kind of lighten up parts of it. It will just make some of the red a little bit pink in some areas, which just gives it a little bit of different interest. Then we go red again. And then we want more pearl paint. Give it a good dollop this time. We'll put some black in while we're here. I always put red in between the black and the white, so then I don't get too much of a big patch of grey. You will probably still get some grey, but I just didn't want it to be in a big patch. More red. See how that last bit wasn't high enough? It just kind of sat on the top. And then more pearl paint. I'm probably going to put the rest of this in now because my cup is getting a little bit full. I was hoping this cup was going to be able to hold all the paint that I have made up, but it looks like it may not. I'm going to put a bit of red over that. Definitely probably going to be just a little bit short. Alright, so I may not scrape this out because I don't think I'm going to have enough room to fit it all anyway. And I might put the white in too now. Again, just hold it up high. Now it's starting to drip. It will sit up. Once it starts dripping, it will sit on top. And now, as much red as I can until the cup is completely full. Okay. That's all I'm going to be able to get. Now I will put some gloves on. And I would really like to thank Chris, I don't know how to pronounce last name, I think it's Jessek, Chris Jessek, for mentioning me on her YouTube video. A lot of new people came to watch my videos and subscribe, and I really appreciate that. That was so much help, and it's allowed more people to see my videos and hopefully enjoy my art, which is what it's all about, is enjoying the art. Now with this, I am going to just do a pour straight into the middle, virtually like a dirty pour. So it doesn't matter that the metallic colour is getting buried underneath the reds, because it is a pearl colour. It will find its way through. Some of it sits on top and some of it sinks. And so I just hold my cup here while it's coming out until it starts forming nearly a drip. As long as it's still coming out in a little line, I want to keep it there. Just so I get the rest of the paint out. Okay. Got lots of cups sitting around. Okay, so this is just settling in. While this is settling, I want to give it a quick torch and pop any bubbles. When you do a dirty pour and you're pouring from a height, you'll always get bubbles forming. Don't keep your torch in one spot for too long. Always keep it moving. So more bubbles are going to form as the paint settles down. More bubbles will come to the surface, but that's okay. We'll torch again. Now, I do have a corner catcher. So it's just a piece of cardboard folded in half that you put on the corners to catch the excess paint, so more so just so we don't lose too much. So what we're going to do is hold in the corner, and we're just going to tilt. Don't have to do it fast. And then slowly move the paint to the corner. And once the paint is actually in the corner, bring it back and then take your corner catcher off. And then we'll put it at the next corner. Move the paint down a little bit to the middle and then come back into this corner. So we're just letting it move across. Once it hits the corner, come back, then take the corner off. So the reason when you let it hit the corner and then come back a bit before you take it off, if you take it off too early, a lot of the paint just slides off the edge. Now, which one will we do? We'll do this one first, this corner. So now we bring our paint all the way back. You can see where the paint is moving. If you wanted to, you could do a base coat, but then just use a little bit less paint in your cup. So we're going to make it go into this corner, hit the corner, come back a bit, take that off. And now our last spot, bring the paint back towards the center and then move it down. You don't have to do this fast. Slow and steady gets there. Okay, in the corner, then come back, and then take my corner off. Now just check that you had paint on all parts of your corners. If there's a little corner that's missing, just dab a bit on that you've got paint sitting on your corner catcher. So I just get a bit on my finger and just dab it on the corner. Okay. And don't hold your card over the top of your canvas because it will drip onto your artwork. So now we just want to move it around a little bit. Just kind of move it back and forth a little bit. It makes more of these little pearls pop up. But at the same time, watch your picture. If your picture looks like it's changing to a way that you don't want it to look, then stop tilting. So I usually just go back and forth a little bit. I kind of like the way that it looks at the moment. See how a lot of this paint sat on the top and didn't sink? So I won't get a lot of pearls at this other end. This whole base and that side bit, it's just sitting on top. But over here there's pearls coming up across there, and all through here there is pearls. They will continue to form as the paint settles a bit more. But what I want to do is get my gloves off now that I know all my corners are covered in paint. And we need to torch it again because there's still a fair few air bubbles in there. Again, just a quick torch over the top. Don't let it settle in one spot at all. If you have a heat gun, that should do the same job. You just need to pop the air bubbles. You don't have to either. I just find that it makes the surface a little bit more level when it dries. Now these pearls that are coming up along here and across through here, these are going to form better shapes. They will kind of grow and settle in as the paint sits on the canvas. So if I pause the camera and come back in about 10 minutes, this area here, all along here and through there will change a little bit. Probably squish together, probably lose a little bit more of this red and get it more in veins. And before I do that, I am going to make sure that I scrape the bottom edge of my canvas for the excess paint drips, because they will keep pulling more paint off and changing the shape of the artwork. So we just run our knife along and just do that on all four sides. Now I will check for those dripping edges every 5 minutes until it stops doing it. So you just have to keep watching it. If it's dripping again, give it another scrape. So what I will do now is I'm going to pause it and leave it for about 10 minutes for this area to settle and hopefully change shape a little bit. So I will pause it and I will be back. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes, and as you can see, these pearls have developed more all the way along this edge, down through here, across, lots of little ones here, and this whole band across here has developed more. The only bit that has stayed is this bit here that was floating on top. So that's why it's good to pour the paint from a height to get it to sink into the cup, because if it sits on top at the end, then you kind of get this floating, which isn't bad looking, but the pearls are more so what are the special feature of doing it this way. So this obsidian is nice. It's dark. It's not going to look as metallic looking until it is dried. As it's wet, it has a metallic look in the right light, but when it dries, you can notice it from all angles. But as you can see through here, they've expanded and pushed all this red together to kind of make nice little cracks, and it's kind of just pushed it into each other, so it looks nice. The black you can see is here, and some streaks through there. There's not much white. So the white has kind of made a little bit of this red lighter, but it hasn't really come out as white, but it never really does. That's why I only add small amounts of it in, to add a bit of feature to the red and to kind of change the colors of it, but without actually making too much of an impact in the whole artwork. What we really wanted here was nice red with a bit of black for contrast, and then these obsidian pearls or metallics that have just made all these different effects. So you've got larger pearls over here where they're kind of more like pebble shapes. And then you've got all these little ones which are more riverstone type of rounded, little bit oblong in some spots. And then over here we've got this nice like banding. So using these colors, it has made this look very probably lava-like, where that's the lava, the red part's the lava, and the black part is kind of where it's drying and crackling to kind of give you those nice rocky effects. So these turn out different quite often. You'll get similar effects, but where you get the reds, where you get the pearls, can all be random depending on how you poured the paint, which way you tipped it. If you tilted it to the edges but didn't go over and then tipped it over the edges, you'll get different effects again. So each time you do them, you will get slight differences. But what I'm going to do now is bring you down for a close-up. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, this is the banding across this bottom section here, and it runs up a bit through there. But then you've got the pearls that come up through here, go all the way across through the red, up here, and then down across here. This isn't as dark as it comes out in the camera. It's only because my lights are all at that end, so that side shines and highlights more. But let's come down for a close-up look. See, as you can see how metallic these pearls are. Nice and pebble shape, and they push into each other, make cool shapes. Then you've got pearls coming up through the red. These pearls have taken on a red tone to them, so they kind of look a little bit reddy metallic. We've got nice lines and bands going through. That's by adding the other colours. So adding the black and the white does help. Then along here we've got more pearls, all different shapes and sizes, looking quite cool. And then here's the band of the pearl that was floating on top. So that kind of just gives you a ripple effect instead of actually creating pearls. And then here's kind of your centerpiece part of the painting where it's mostly red. So I'm going to back up to the top. Now, See how I don't have my centerpiece in the center? I do that for a reason. Sometimes I put them in the center, but I often keep them slightly off-centered. It draws your eye to other parts of the canvas. So you're not always just looking straight at the middle. Your eyes are drawn to this corner, and then because it's not centralized, your eyes want to come back down and see other sections. So you actually see more of the painting by off-centering it. Your eyes don't seem to just focus on one spot. They kind of look all over. So there's always a reason for that, but it can also depend. If I wanted to get rid of this banding at the bottom, I could have brought that whole part down and pushed this banding off, and then that would have made this here more centralized or something like that. But yeah, this was interesting. This was fun. This should also work with decoart extreme sheen paints as well, if you wanted to use extreme sheens. These are just a little bit thinner, so don't mix them 1-to-1. Mix them probably 1 part paint to 50 or 75% floetrol. But the actual larger containers I use, they seem to work better when I use them 1-to-1. So I hope everyone enjoyed this. Welcome to all my new subscribers and everyone that has been with me for a while now. So share, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you tomorrow for a new pour. Okay, good night everyone. Bye.